Good afternoon, everyone. Kalla here. Welcome to my live stream. Glad you could make it today. Today, we'll be playing more of Hercule Poirot: The First Cases. Last time, while we were investigating the blackmail case that we'd been brought here for, somebody killed the Major. I mean, we didn't really like the Major, but that's beside the point. We've still got to figure out who killed him. It's still murder. It doesn't matter if we didn't like the guy. And we did some initial questioning of everyone here, and then called it a day. So, I have a conclusion to reach. One link. Probably all alibis confirmed to the guests have known each other for years.
I must take a different approach if I am to uncover the truth.
I thought that might do it, because they're clearly covering for each other. Jackie bumped heads with the Major. Maybe down to one of Jackie's things? Jackie claims Margot is hiding something. Jackie knows a lot. Maybe Jackie knows a lot about the guests up to them?
Come, my little grey cells. We must think logically.
Hello, Nick. How are you doing? I feel it must be something that Angeline gave us shortly, but maybe not. I really expected it to be related to this. We don't have this connected to anything.
Order and method. That is the way to solve the problem.
You were trying to get Beans Floyd, were you? Jackie bumped head with the Major over to Jackie pushing for dirt from the Major.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
I doubted Jackie's involvement with the murder, but no, I am dubious of her innocence.
What a revelation!
Jackie seems suspicious. Ooh. I now have all the motives from the guests. Who is under suspicion? Okay, now I have another link to make, which surely it must go for Jackie seems suspicious. All motives. Actually, given where all motives confirmed, it's just appeared. All motives confirmed and guests have known one another for years.
This will not get me any closer to my goal.
Ouch. Good luck if you keep going. Oh, all motives confirmed, all alibis confirmed.
Things are beginning
there we
to
go.
become clearer.
I do not know who I can trust, or whose stories I can believe. Are the guests innocent? Actually, you know what I've forgotten. I've forgotten my Poirot mustache. We're gonna sort that. Yeah, there we go. Mustache obtained. Now I can continue. All guests are suspicious. Okay. Now we want to connect all guests are suspicious, I think, to guests have known each other for years. Yes. And no doubt how trustworthy their stories may be. They may well be covering for each other. There is no physical way one of the guests could have killed the Major and returned to the party. Unless that is where I am mistaken. It is not one guilty party I should be looking for, but rather multiple? That's what I thought. How could I not have considered that the Major's death was part of a ploy created and executed by more than only one of the guests? It came almost as an epiphany following Mademoiselle Angeline's remark about the guest's shared past. Perhaps Mademoiselle will become the trusted ally that I now sense may be essential to catching the guilty parties. Tonight's questioning was only the beginning. I will allow my suspects to sleep on their stories, and we will see how they fare tomorrow. Perhaps one of them involved will have morals enough to show a glimmer of regret. Considering they may be working together, I cannot be sure who has told the truth, and who has attempted to sell me down the fleuve. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but... Perhaps I should sleep on the matter. A good night's sleep will surely bring a new dawn of thinking. And what a better setting to do so than in the peaceful falling blanket of snow that surrounds us all. Though it seems not everyone has the same idea. Ooh, someone's out in the snow. That's a guy, right? That was a masculine silhouette. Chapter 5, The Secret. A restless sleep combined with the image of the eerie figure in the snow has only convoluted what my little grey cells must consider. I should not have expected this to be a simple case. I have been lied to by at least one of the guests. Their alibis all confirm each other's, but I know this not to be true. Investigate the Major's involvement with the blackmail. Okay. How the Major was involved with the blackmail eludes me, for now. Once I have confirmed whether he was the author or recipient, I can consider my next step in my investigation. Friends. Okay. We just need to go talk to people. So we'll start with Archibald. Hey, Archie.
Good morning, Detective. You slept well?
I'm afraid I did not. I was hoping for at least a moment of pleasant slumber, but alas, it was not to be.
Oh no.
Finding the Major's killer is the only thing that will put my mind at ease.
But you need a decent amount of sleep for your little grey cells to function, Poirot.
In that case, Detective, what can I do to help?
Well, watching the snowfall last night, I swear I saw the silhouette of a figure standing in the garden.
In that snow? If someone was out there, we'd have another body on our hands.
I realize how strange it sounds. I would not believe it myself if I had not seen it with my own eyes.
Staff have reported seeing things in the dark before, but it always just turns out to be shadows. It was likely just your mind playing tricks.
Ghosts! Not a real ghost, though. It's gotta be a person. I did not see Mademoiselle Elizabeth last night.
I'm afraid our Lizzie is not well. I think the events of yesterday were too much for her. We'll have to just make do without her this morning.
As Wordsworth once stated, rest and be thankful. Perhaps a chance of peace and relaxation will work wonders.
I'd also like to speak with Madame Van den Bosch at her earliest convenience.
She is currently eating breakfast alone in the dining room. It's how she prefers it. But if you wish to speak with her now...
Wordsworth would be William Wordsworth. He's a poet, I think. Yeah, I think poet is right. Rather than any other kind of writer. I could be wrong. English literature was not my best school subject. It is important I speak with her, but perhaps it is better to allow her to finish. I do not wish to upset her before I have even asked my first question. I could perhaps investigate the garden for any evidence of the figure from last night. Well, yeah, I guess not being English, you wouldn't have English literature. I guess you'd have a different kind of literature, if anything. It was not my favorite because they make you analyze things, and sometimes things I don't get the weird meanings that people associate with them. Sometimes a poem about an eagle is just about an eagle. Don't make me analyze it any further. Would you permit me access to the house's telephone?
I would, but I'm afraid I found this morning that the telephone lines aren't working. The snow continued through the night and must have damaged them.
Yes, exactly that. The why is the door red? I mentioned the eagle specifically because that's the one that really stands out in my memory. Like, it's just a poem about a sea eagle. How on earth my teacher expected us to find Jesus in it, I don't know.
Even if we could use the telephone, I don't think anyone would be able to reach us.
Because of all the snow.
In that case, it will be up to myself alone to solve the case.
I'll let you know if anything changes. But until some of the snow clears, enough for the carriages to arrive, we are snowed in.
I mean, if we're snowed in, at least that stops the culprit from escaping. Although I am not able to call upon or leave the house to find help from the local authorities, it also means none of the guests are able to leave. I have until the snow clears to find not only Mademoiselle Angeline's blackmailer, but also the Major's killer. The Major's body.
Taken care of. Master Dramir and his brother, after sobering up, helped me move him into the cellar. Best place for the time being.
Yeah, I guess that would be cooler than everywhere else. Maybe you should bring over some snow from outside and...
Très bien. I imagine there is no reason for anyone to go down there.
Besides me, no one. Once this snow clears, we will be able to move him from the house.
Your assistance has been most valuable as always.
Okay, then. Have we gained anything to... No. Ah, Angeline.
Good morning, Detective. I hope you were comfortable last night.
Bonjour, mademoiselle. The room was more than pleasant, merci. I'm afraid my mind was not in a state to enjoy it to its full potential, though.
I can't imagine any of us slept soundly last night.
Hopefully guilt will be weighing heavily on someone's shoulders this morning.
Perhaps on more than one set.
I'm sorry if I was not much help last night, Detective.
On the contrary, your inside knowledge of the guests was of great help to my investigation. but there are many more questions that require answers.
What were your feelings towards the Major's position in the house?
His position? You mean about him living here?
Oui, even in a house this size, you must see a lot of each other.
I enjoyed having him here. When I was away with Gideon, it was comforting to know Maman was not alone. Although his work with Mr. Da Silva has kept him away from the house of late.
What can you tell me about their relationship, working or otherwise?
There is not much to tell, only that there is no love lost between them.
Do you know what their business entailed?
He was always quite private about his work. I know that he was helping Mr. Da Silva with some safety matters.
I found a check addressed to the Major from Monsieur Da Silva. It noted security consulting.
Ah, that's right, security. With his military training, he helped Mr. Da Silva prepare for any trouble with the strikes.
Although the Major's death has taken precedence, there has been a development in the blackmail case.
A development? Oh, detective, I knew I could count on you.
It may not be the news you had wished for, though. Another letter has been found.
Addressed to me? I don't know how much more I can take of this.
Pardonnez-moi, mademoiselle. Although it has been written in the same manner, using similar phraseology, it was not sent for your eyes, rather the Major's. Or at least that is how it seems.
I'm sorry, detective, I don't understand. It is addressed to him or not?
It wasn't very obvious in that regard.
I found it in the Major's study yesterday while conducting my preliminary search. Whether he is the author of the letter or the recipient, I am still yet to discover.
Could the Major have been behind the blackmail?
Heavens no, he could not do that.
You did not hesitate for a moment.
Why would he do such a thing? And then to send a letter to himself. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, the and send a letter to himself would be to make it look like he wasn't involved.
Merci for your time, mademoiselle. You are to a detective what an umbrella is to a traveler on a wet day.
Useful?
Exactement.
Can't get into the salon, apparently. The dining room is where the madame is. Oh, there's people over here. Let's talk to Gideon.
Bonjour, Monsieur Damir.
Detective Poirot, how are you?
The truth, monsieur. With each step towards uncovering the blackmailer, I am thrown 2 steps back as to the identity of the Major's killer.
Is there something I can help you with?
After investigating the crime scene yesterday, I asked Monsieur Sterling to move the body.
Archibald came to me and asked for my help in the matter. My brother and I dealt with it.
Merci for your help. It is a job that only the professionals should have to undertake.
It's a job that had to be done, although it may have affected my brother more than I.
Because his brother was in the war and probably saw a lot of dead bodies.
How so?
At the sight of the body, the color drained from his face. Once we had reached the cellar, Zachariah took himself straight off to bed, without even a good night.
While in the study, I noticed the Major's safe was locked. Would you know who has access?
Felix and Madame Vandenbosch are the only ones with keys, as far as I'm aware. Oh, and Archibald. I'm sure I heard Felix asking him to return something to it once.
I wonder why Monsieur Sterling did not mention this previously. Have you spoken with your brother this morning?
I have not seen him since last night. I'm sure he will have been fine after a good night's sleep.
I imagine the alcohol would have acted as sufficient sleeping aid.
He does not need his younger brother checking in on him.
Perhaps that is exactly what he requires.
I'm not sure what he told you yesterday, Detective, but he's a big boy. He can look after himself.
Yeah, but maybe you should still check on your brother.
I worry that may not be the case, monsieur. His time in the war came up in conversation more than once during our conversations.
He's still talking about it? I thought talking to the doctor would have stopped all of that.
Merci, monsieur. Comtesse, I wonder if I could ask you some questions.
That is it, detective? No small talk? No inflating of one's ego?
I am afraid not, Comtesse. With the murderer still loose in the house, my mind is rather preoccupied.
Well then, detective, perhaps I can be of some assistance.
Comment, madame?
I thought you might like to know what I found on the Major's body.
What were you doing investigating the Major's body? I demand to know who gave you permission to see the Major's body.
That certainly piqued your interest.
A man has been murdered, and you find it acceptable to fool around and joke.
Oh, please, detective. Do you really think so little of me? Archibald asked for my assistance. He knows of my medical training from my days as a nurse, and I thought I would be able to help. Even if it has been some years.
It was not his place to grant you access to the body.
I shall remember to keep my assistance to myself next time.
What did you discover on the body?
A single stab wound, which you no doubt already knew. The knife was held in their right hand. I would say their predominant hand.
Their right hand, huh? I pride myself on order and method, and this is far from either. A suspect in a murder investigation has examined the very victim that they are suspected of killing. It is like something out of a crime novel.
Judging by the depth of the wound, I would say there was no great force put into the strike. More a sign of defense than attack. If I had to say what weapon was used, a small sharp knife or dagger.
This may confirm my suspicions of the Major's knife being used to kill him.
I understand it may be difficult for one to keep such information to yourself, but I ask you to try. Your involvement has already tainted my investigation.
You are welcome, detective.
When my superior officer hears of the goings-on in this house, I will surely be seeing the green fields of the countryside once more. I must do all I can to redeem the reputation I have worked to build, starting with finding the killer.
S'il vous plaît, Comtesse. Keep this information to yourself.
Well, these are things I've already looked at. Have I got any links to make? Oh, I've got two over here. Okay. Zacharia was shocked by the Major's corpse. He was therapized after the war. Gordon claims Archibald has access to the safe. Okay. I've got an inspect the garden today. Brothers moved the body. Archibald asked Margot to inspect the body. Angeline knew the Major well. Angeline disputes the Major being the blackmailer. I need to talk to Cassandra. First blackmail letter, Gideon paid it off. I guess we should we just be connecting those two?
Is there
No.
something I am not seeing?
Two things. Oh, what if I connect this to this?
I cannot see the logic in this. Perhaps
this down to the brothers moving the corpse.
I must act on thought and fact, not on impulse.
Oh. I always forget to try and connect things that are really close to one another.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
I have heard of men returning physically from war, but their minds remain on the battlefield. Zachariah may have shell shock, as in PTSD. Talk to Gideon about it. Okay. Oh, so I'd probably just connecting these two.
Another success.
Yeah.
I never doubted myself.
One can't be surprised with Angelina and Felix's bond. He's been a figure in her life for so long. Angeline attached to the Major. Nothing in theirs. Let's go talk to Gideon again.
If it will help you find the Major's killer, of course.
Your brother was seeing a doctor.
When he returned from the war, he was a different man. Everything became about what he had seen.
I cannot speak from experience, but I can only imagine the horrors he must have witnessed.
The first weeks he would wake in the night, screaming. I found him one night, cowering behind the desk in the study. When I tried to help him out from beneath it, well, it was the first time I had ever feared for my life.
That is not why you two are no longer close?
Not at all, Detective. We were always very different in nature. While I had always wanted to follow an academic path, Zachariah was more of a free spirit. Or at least as free as our father and the laws would allow.
And yet, he ended up in the military. Quite the contrast.
Our father demanded that he at least try to do something with his life. And when some of his friends joined the army, he signed up with them. It wasn't long before he moved out from the family home after his return from the army. I always assumed that he had put the war and everything that came with it behind him and was moving on. Now I see that is far from the truth.
Dining? Yeah, let's go to the dining room and talk to the madame. While I must speak with Madame Van den Bosch, I should also take this opportunity to talk to Mademoiselle Rihanna in the kitchen. Yes, we should. If we have the opportunity to go into the kitchen, we absolutely should. Ooh, what's this bust?
Huh.
Madame Van den Bosch's collection of art extends further than just paintings. Another one. Is it going to be the same? Yep. Same bit. Nothing to check there. Window.
Oh.
The fallen snow has laid a beautiful white blanket over the countryside that surrounds the house. Okay, there's Madame Van den Bosch, who I will be temporarily avoiding. Another drinks globe.
Aha.
That's the same text as the last time we saw one. Just gonna walk right past her and go to the kitchen. Let's go. The cook has obviously used them for quite some time, judging by their condition. Well-used pots and pans. A lot of... Is that lettuce or cabbage? Unsure. Some baked goods. Covered. There does not seem to be anything of interest in there. Alright, let's talk to the cook then.
Bonjour, madame. You must be the wonderful cook.
Wonderful and modest, sir. I am Rihanna.
My taste buds thank you for the ravishing meal last night. It has been some time since I ate so well.
Glad to hear it, sir.
S'il te plaît, madame. A detective is fine.
In that case, mademoiselle is fine for me, and I will ignore your presumption of marriage.
Très bon, mademoiselle.
You have been with the Van den Bosch family for quite some time.
That's right. I've seen staff come and go, but a house always needs a trustworthy cook.
I agree. But if I was to eat what you prepare every day, I fear I may be the size of La Maison.
I like the ring of rather large keys she's got from her belt. I like that. That's nice.
Not a bad thing, detective. You could do with some meat on your bones.
Well, with the snow still not clearing, we may be stuck here for the weekend. Perhaps I should look to adjust my pantalon buttons.
I understand you took some ice to the Major yesterday.
I did. Monsieur Archie told me what had happened. Bruises can swell fast, so I took him some ice to bring it down.
Strange. Monsieur Sterling told me it was the Major that requested the ice.
How was the Major when you saw him?
Grumpy, as always.
I suppose one would not take kindly to being punched as he was.
Punched or not, he was as ungrateful as ever.
I shall not keep you any longer. Merci, mademoiselle.
Alright. Ooh, do we have anything to... Nope. Let's go talk to the madame. Who is not going to be happy with us because she never is.
Bonjour, madame. I hope
They obviously did not teach you manners at wherever it was you schooled.
Pardon for the interruption, but these questions cannot wait.
Get on with it then.
Why would someone want to kill the Major?
I'm sure you're aware he was not the easiest man to get along with. His hot temper made him a number of foes.
Not the easiest man to get along with. Yeah, understatement.
A hot temper is reason enough to kill a man.
His mouth often acted before his brain. Perhaps someone had grown tired of dealing with it.
You suggested why someone might kill him, but who do you believe would do it?
Seeing as I heard Mr. Becker's in what I would describe as an unnecessarily loud exchange of words yesterday, he would be my first suspect.
Unnecessarily loud exchange of words.
You heard them yourself.
How could I not? The volume they were shouting at, I could hear them from the study in my room.
You did not think it fitting to tell me this yesterday?
I didn't think Felix was going to wind up dead and a murderer loose in my house. My apologies, detective.
Although I must learn more of this argument, it is not Madame that I expect the answers to come from, rather Monsieur Becker's. He has a great deal of explaining to do. A letter was found in the Major's study.
I assume you are talking about the supposed blackmail letter.
Oui, madame. You know of it?
It arrived shortly after the first. Rather coincidental, if you ask me.
I mean, I don't think... Well, what... it's not really a coincidence if they're written by the same person, is it?
I'm not sure I understand what you're trying to say, madame.
He no doubt had secrets hidden away. But do you honestly think Felix had anything of value to his name worth threatening him for?
Well, yeah, if he did have anything of value, he wouldn't be sponging off of you, would he?
Perhaps you should enlighten me.
Well, he was here, living in my house, eating my food, prepared by my staff. Does that answer your question, detective?
How do you think the Major came to have the letter?
I wouldn't put it past him to have written it himself, in the hopes of getting some sympathy from me.
And the other letters?
He probably wrote those too. If Angeline paid the first, that would have given him the money to pay the second letter. He is the White Knight, saves the day, and expects to live here happily ever after.
That is one potential way of it. He did not expect Madame van den Bosch to be so blunt with her thoughts towards the Major, and was under the impression there was more to their friendship, not less. It is quite the nefarious plan that Madame has laid out for the Major. I'm sure I can believe he would go to such levels of deceit. I'm sure Mademoiselle Angeline would have an opinion on the matter. Wait, Monsieur, I'd like to talk to you about Monsieur de Silva.
What is it you wish to know?
You two have been friends for some time now, and while I do not mean to pry, has your relationship only...
If you are trying to insinuate that Mr. de Silva and I are running around like schoolchildren, you could not be further from the truth. He was friends with my husband, for goodness sake.
Oui, I understand they worked together. Investments, if I am correct.
Mr. de Silva was the voice of reason that my husband should have listened to more often, instead of throwing our money at businesses that were already on the verge of bankruptcy.
Well now.
Merci, madame. I shall not bother you any further.
I have gathered all I need from Madame van den Bosch and Mademoiselle Rihanna. I should return to the Great Hall. Yeah, we did indeed set her off again, didn't we? She doesn't like us. What did we learn that we can connect to things? The Major had a temper. Cassandra believed Major was the blackmailer. What if we shove that across there? There we go.
My own skills of deduction.
Does she like anyone still living? I assume she likes her daughter. Angeline and Cassandra have different impressions of the Major. There must be a reason for this. Talk to Angeline. Well, yeah. It's only an I think she likes her daughter. Or possibly even an I'd hope.
Is there something I can help you with, detective?
Your mama did not describe her friendship with the Major in such a positive light.
You have got the wrong end of the stick, detective. Maman has snapped at him recently, but it was nothing more than that. It was something to do with the letter. I heard them in the library before Maman shouted and he stormed out of the room past me.
Could it have been the blackmail letter that instigated their argument?
Why would Maman be upset with him over the letter?
Madame is of a very different opinion from yourself regarding his connection with the letters. She believes him to be the author.
That is what she told you? She has always been one to make a quick, if not rash decision, but she cannot truly believe that.
Was the Major aware you had paid the first blackmail letter?
I don't recall telling him directly. I did not want Maman to find out it had been paid. If he knew, surely she would.
Madame believes he may have been behind all the letters, and taking your payment of the first, then used it to pay the second and be the hero in you and your mother's eyes.
I never knew Maman had such an imagination. Where would she get a story like that from?
That is a question I was hoping you may be able to answer.
You have met him. Do you really think he's capable of such a devious plan?
I mean, no, but...
It is a plan only the most crooked and underhanded could create. Is that the Major? I am not so sure.
The more I think on Madame's story, the more ridiculous and obscure it sounds. But that does not mean it can be ruled out.
I shall not keep you any longer. Merci, mademoiselle.
Did that give us anything else to make a connection with? Yes, it did. Ashleen questions Cassandra's reasoning for the Major's blackmail. Cassandra wasn't happy with the Major. So the Major had a temper, maybe?
Order and method.
Nope.
That is the way to solve the problem.
Up to there?
This will not get me
No.
any closer to my goal.
Sandra wasn't happy with the Major.
I must take a different approach if I am to uncover the truth.
Ah, that up to there.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
I wonder if the blackmail had a greater effect on their relationship than expected. Relationship ruined by blackmail? Question mark? Talk to Angeline. Alright. Well, we're still here.
Is there something I can help you with, Detective?
Was the arrival of the blackmail letter what caused the tension in Madame and the Major's relationship?
I'm afraid it had been that way for some time. Maman is not forthcoming with her emotions, as I'm sure you are aware. But I could tell she had not been happy with their arrangement for the last few months.
What gave you that impression?
There was not one particular thing that she expressed. It was just the way she spoke to him and of him when he wasn't present.
I shall
Right.
not keep you any longer. Merci, mademoiselle.
Did that get us anywhere? No. Alright, let's go look out in the snow. Let's go play in the snow. Finding evidence of the figure from last night will on the one hand confirm I am not seeing things as Monsieur Sterling suggested, but on the other pose even more questions that must be answered. That rather looks like some footprints, which is really odd considering like we're halfway up to our knees in this. How are there footprints on the top of it? How are there obvious footprints when we're leaving this? There is a small trail of footprints in the snow. The Major was seen walking around here yesterday. Yeah, but I don't know. There's still a lot of snow coming down. I wouldn't expect to see anything from yesterday. Yeah, wouldn't they be gone in seconds, right? Expensive lighter. A well-made lighter with the insignia of a military regiment. The Major must have dropped it. Ooh. Garden tools.
Oh.
Garden tools have been left out, presumably before the snow fell. Those need putting away, they're gonna rust. Okay, it doesn't look like there's anything. Oh, unless we can go further that way. No. Milk bottles. They must have been left out for collection. I cannot see anyone making it through this snow, though. Why are the milk bottles here and not closer to the gate? I mean, maybe they got blown around by the wind. Exit is impossible. The house is completely snowed in. It does not look like we shall be going anywhere anytime soon. The snow is still falling, and I am hardly dressed for the occasion. I believe I have gathered everything that is required. Monsieur Sterling will be able to assist me in gaining access to the Major's study. Ah, we got brought back in. I wants to doodle in the snow. No links, just a talk to Archibald. Hey, Archie.
Whatever you need, Detective.
I wish to inspect the Major's study again.
Certainly, Detective.
This room is still a crime scene, and should have remained untouched, but it looks as though it has been ransacked. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I requested Monsieur Sterling to have the body wrapped and moved, which has been done, thankfully. What else has gone on in here? Oh, safe's open. Addressed to the Major with no return address. I must admit, side by side, there is a striking resemblance between me et fille. Perhaps such flattery is the way to win over Madame Vandenbosch. Aw, little Angeline. How strange. The Viscount was also present in the picture, but has been folded out. I did not think there was any hostility between the Major and the late Viscount. Yes, but if he likes Madame, then I can understand why he might, fold the other guy out of the picture. Just to make it feel different, I don't know. How strange. I could not access this yesterday, but now it has been left wide open. Scratches are obvious around the lock. Someone in this house was eager to see the safe's contents. A half-sealed letter addressed to Madame Vandenbosch from the Major. I am not one to read others' private mail, but under the circumstances. My dearest Cassandra, it feels as though that it has been an age since I have been able to set my sights upon you. A day I have waited for so impatiently. I keep the photograph of us together at the lake close to my heart always. I cannot wait to see how young Angeline has grown. Her beauty will surely reach that of her mother's. I hope the gifts from the Orient reached you fine. They are really something to behold. The work that has kept me away for so long is drawing to a close, and I will be returning to the continent within the month. At your request, I have found accommodation in the city. It pains me to think of being so close and yet unable to be with you every moment, but if it eases your worry, I shall not continue to question it. I will arrange for a visit to the house. An old friend returning will surely raise minimal suspicions. I understand that the Viscount is also currently out of the country. I hope you have not felt the strain of loneliness take over, and it will not be long until we are reunited. Until that day, until the end of mine, my heart is yours. Major Felix Hagen. It seems there is a great deal of Madame Van den Bosch and the Major's relationship that she has withheld. It is clear from this letter that their affection for one another has been more than that of friendship for some time. The mention of young Angeline suggests it may go back as far as 20 years. And another letter. Someone was obviously looking for something in particular in the Major's documents. These accounts have been thoroughly rifled through. The Major has recently taken out a large loan, and the interest rate is astronomical. One of them payday loans, huh? With the really high interest rate. Have we got some linking to do? We do have some linking to do. Sealed letter. Major confesses love for Cassandra. Maybe this to that?
I cannot see the logic in this.
No.
I must act on thought and fact.
Oh wait, we probably just need to put that to that.
Is there
No?
something I am not seeing?
Yeah, that up to that.
Come, my
Nope.
little grey cells.
Oh. That one to that.
I must take a
Nope.
different approach if I am to uncup. Magnifique.
Okay. The Major paid the letter that was addressed to him. He must have been worried enough that something would be released to the public, but what? Oh, I see, I didn't read the thing about the large sum of money. He borrowed 6,000 francs. Yes, and his ransom thing was 5,000. So the Major paid the blackmail ransom. That hasn't gained me a new link, so I've got the same link.
I must act on thought. Order and method. That is the... I cannot see the logic in this. Perhaps as...
Oh, over there.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
The hidden photos of them, along with Angeline's attachment to him, proves he cared deeply for them. Now that has gained me a new one. The Major cared about Cassandra and Angeline. That's up to the blackmail ransom one?
Come,
No.
my little grey cells.
It must be that up to the Major confesses love?
Is there something I am not seeing?
Actually, maybe up to this one about the
The
relationship
pieces of
issues.
the
There we
puzzle
go.
Finally coming together.
I believe the Major would do everything to remain in the comfortable life he's accustomed to. But why would he stoop so low as to fake a blackmail letter? The Major faked the blackmail? Question mark? Yeah, that one up to the Major paying his own blackmail ransom, I think.
What a revelation!
The evidence suggests the Major was not the author of the blackmail letter. The Major was a victim just like Mademoiselle Angeline. Whoever it is that is penning these letters knows a great deal about many people. I wonder how many more have received similar letters. Alright, so the Major is not our blackmailer. didn't really think he was in the first place. The uncertain connection between the Major and the ransom has been resolved. The Major was being blackmailed. The letters were not written by his hand. What remains unresolved is why the Major was being blackmailed. 2 cases of extortion under one roof. The question of their relationship must be asked. Is the Major Angeline's real father? Is that what the blackmailing is about? The Major's secret is anything but obvious from his letter. I now have a blackmailer and a murderer and their weapon to find. If the correct process is followed, they shall all be found swiftly. I should take my leave. This room has already revealed enough new insights into the Madame's and the Major's lives.
Detective Poirot, I have been asked to inform you that Lady Vandenbosch has returned to her room, and she wishes not to be disturbed.
Merci. Madame certainly has mastered the art of subtlety.
They may not be the exact words she used, but I'm sure you can imagine. Excuse me, I have some further duties to attend to in the pantry.
This may not be the exact words she used. Yeah, the exact words she used was probably along the lines of, "Do not let that detective anywhere near me." Probably with some adjectives. Perhaps I should take this opportunity to search the top floor, and there is no one to disturb me. There is one room that holds particular interest. I should inspect the storage room while I have this rare opportunity. Ah, yeah, let's be nosy. It's time to be nosy. The Major's bedroom. Cassandra's bedroom, which we probably shouldn't go into. The storeroom. Ooh, there's a telescope up here as well.
Aha.
So that's the same thing as the last telescope we looked at. There's another bookcase up here. That's something we had when we were in the library. More paintings. A painting of a majestic mountain, the tip of which pierces the clouds above. The attention to detail is fantastic. A painting of an atmospheric forest scene. This artist captured the ambience of the forest perfectly. Angeline and Gideon's bedroom, which we can't go into. A painting of a boat sailing across a vast ocean. The artist is clearly very talented. There are a number of spectacular pieces in Madame Vandenbosch's eclectic art collection. But we don't get to hear about what that one is, huh? Alright, let's go look at this storeroom. A little bit dusty in here. A collection of children's toys. Such a shame to see them stored away and not being enjoyed. Considering they have been kept in a storage room, they are all in almost perfect condition. My immediate assumption would be they belong to Mademoiselle Angeline. There's a lot of paintings in here as well, isn't there? A lot of paintings, a coat stand. I'm surprised that this shelf is completely empty and there's books on the floor. Like I would store those in there. Grandfather clock. That's the same as when we saw the other one, so I won't voice it. A lone storybook rests here. It has obviously been read a great number of times, judging by the condition of the spine and pages. Perhaps not the target demographic, but I understand it to be popular amongst the younger audience. To the real lady of the house, happy birthday. Watching you grow into a proper young lady has been more than words can describe. All my love, Felix. I would not have expected to find such a heartfelt message written by Monsieur Hagen and to Mademoiselle Angeline. Is this the usual inscription you would find from a family friend? Perhaps someone searched the shelves. No, I think someone's just doing a terrible job of organising the storeroom. I cannot seem to get a straight answer from anyone regarding the Major. I know he has been friends with Madame Vandenbosch for some years, but I must find out if it was anything more. We have one connection to make. Okay. We have the torn photograph with the Viscount's image removed. Angeline Cassandra. Unsent sealed letter. Confessing love. Cassandra and Angeline's conflicting impressions of the Major. It's Angeline isn't attached to the Major. But the Major resided with the family for a long time. She cared about Cassandra and Angeline, and that he's innocent of the blackmail. He's alone with its high interest rate and large sum. Well-kept children's toys. Antiques. They remind me of the toys I had at a young age. Even that is some years ago now. Storybook. That's an appropriate gift. Gift from the Major. The Major cared for them and up to this gift.
This will not get me
No.
any closer.
The Major cared for them up to this.
This will not get me any closer to my goal.
Just a thing about the children's toys
I
itself.
cannot see
No.
the logic in this. Perhaps.
Okay. Oh, the high interest rate of the loan to the Major residing with the family for a long time. Oh, because he's got no money.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
It seems the Major has lived rather comfortably at the Vandenbosch house for many years. The Major depends on Cassandra's accommodation. Talk to Angeline about it. Oh, is there anything else for any of the other things? No. Right. There wasn't anything else to look at in here. In which case, I'm going to give you an irritation. And go into Madame's bedroom. Hello, Madame. I heard you didn't want to be disturbed, so I thought I'd come and disturb you.
Huh. Huh.
These perfume bottles look rather expensive. It would be wise to be very careful with them.
Detective Poirot, what do you think you are doing in here?
Being a nuisance.
I have something I wish to discuss with you.
Well, I hope it is important enough to justify barging into one's bedroom.
I assure you it is.
Good, because this has gone on far too long. We are snowed in this house while a murderer runs amok.
I can understand your frustrations, but it is not as simple as...
You were once an incompetent officer, and now it seems you are just as incompetent as a detective.
If I was not being lied to and misled at every turn, perhaps the murderer would already be in custody.
I hope you are not suggesting I had something to do with Felix's murder.
Yeah, we're not suggesting you had something to do with it. We're just suggesting that you're an incredibly unhelpful old lady. And yeah, perfume is indeed expensive, and I do not do that thing. But I can understand if people have the money to spend and like the scent as to why they would buy it, but...
I am suggesting that if I had the support that everyone claims they are offering, we would be in a very different situation.
If you have something you want to ask, I suggest you ask me now.
I was not aware the Major had been so close to your daughter.
We met before Angeline was born, so he was often at the house when she was growing up.
And where was it you two met?
I was attending an event. Felix was also in attendance as a serving officer. A conversation was struck.
So it was not through the Viscount that you two met?
I did not require my husband to start conversations on my behalf.
Fair.
It was you that instigated it then?
My, detective. That active imagination of yours has taken you on quite some journey.
Madame is attempting to deflect from the subject she obviously does not feel comfortable discussing. The late Viscount and the Major were surely friends then?
Edwin spent much of his time away on business before Angeline was born. Felix was a welcome distraction from the loneliness of the house.
A welcome distraction, huh?
You were alone in the house?
The staff continued their duties, of course, but trying to get any sort of sophisticated or cultured conversation from them was like drawing blood from a stone.
And when Angeline was born?
Edwin remained at home. It was his duty as a father.
And the Major?
He had his own business and life to tend to, but we remained in touch via letter. Around the time of Edwin's passing, Felix had relocated to the area.
Madame is incredibly coy and brief with the information she offers, but with the Viscount's death coinciding with the Major's return, surely a mere coincidence is too far-fetched. I would like to ask you about a letter I found in the Major's study.
I'm sure he has hundreds of letters in there. Most of them could and should have been thrown away a long time ago. You are going to have to be more specific.
I refer to the letter addressed to you, the one of a romantic nature.
Romantic nature? Oh, please, detective. Felix did not have a romantic bone in his body.
He made his intentions quite clear in the letter. I must admit I myself was surprised.
You really do have quite the active imagination, detective. If that is how you wish to interpret it, so be it. But I can assure you, the Major did not think of me that way, and certainly did not include it in a letter.
Not in a letter that you
is all
saw.
for now. Merci, madame.
Okay, what did we learn? Cassandra met the Major before Angeline's birth. Cassandra claims the Major didn't love her. That's a there?
Is there
No. Oh wait, no. The fact it was unset.
Come,
No.
little grey cells. We... Order and method. That is the...
Nope. I'm bad at this. Claims the Major didn't love her and the photo that he kept.
Things
Okay.
are beginning to become clearer.
It is obvious that the Major cared for Cassandra. That is no surprise to anyone. Talk to Cassandra about it. Okay.
Is this really necessary?
If you are correct and the Major had no romantic feelings towards you, why would he keep a photograph of you and Mademoiselle Angeline hidden?
He may have stayed in my home, but Felix was a grown man, Detective. What he kept, hidden or otherwise, has nothing to do with me.
But it does not surprise you that he had such a photograph?
We have been friends, and he has been there for Angeline for many years, but you find it strange that he keeps a reminder of us? Perhaps that says more about you, Detective.
What I do find strange is that if he did hold a flame for you, why he would never express it.
If he did, it was not reciprocated. I have not even considered another since my husband's passing. Not that it is any of your business.
I think that is all for now. Merci, madame.
Alright, there's some stuff I need to talk to Angeline about, I believe. So downstairs we go. Perhaps it is time to speak with Mademoiselle Angeline again. She should be able to give us the valuable pieces of this puzzle. And she's right here! How convenient!
Detective Poirot, are you any closer to uncovering the truth of Felix's involvement with the letters?
I am, mademoiselle. I can confirm that he was not the author of the blackmail letters.
So the author is still out there?
Oui, but it will not be long before they are apprehended, and the only letters they shall be penning will be from behind iron bars.
Your confidence is rather assuring. Thank you, Detective.
Ooh, so many questions. Your comment about the current guest stayed with me last night.
I'm sorry, Detective. I did not intend to leave your mind so full of thoughts.
No apology is required. It actually made me question my whole chain of thinking. What if there had been a collusion between them, and the Major's murder was planned, organized, and orchestrated to make the investigation seem almost impossible?
Oh my, Detective, that is quite a theory.
Every guest has a motive. You confirm that with the mention of Mademoiselle Conrad and the Major's fight. Supplying one another with a rock-solid alibi would surely throw off any detective.
But not you.
Correct, mademoiselle. It would take much more to stamp Detective Poirot.
While searching the storage room, I found a book that I assume was a gift from the Major to you.
I haven't seen that book in so long. Yes, it was a gift for my 10th birthday. I have read it from cover to cover countless times. He left such a lovely inscription too.
It sounds as though there is a side to the Major I did not get to see. Was it common for him to bring you gifts?
Not common, but if he had been away for some time, he would bring me a small memento from his travels. He hasn't done that in some time, though.
Has he actually been anywhere interesting in a while? The toys that were with the book, were they also gifts from the Major?
They were. I'm afraid they may have gathered some dust being in the storage room for so long. I kept them in hope of giving them to my child when the time comes.
It sounds as though he had always cared about you.
His presence at the house was comforting for us both after Father died, even if sometimes he was a little too overprotective.
You spoke last night of the Major's support of your mama.
That's right. Ever since I can remember, Felix has been around.
It seems as though she has a number of support networks. The Major, her friendship with the Countess, not forgetting Monsieur da Silva.
Maman has many friends. I know how she may seem to most, but once you break the hard shell...
You find the squishy interior?
There is a further shell waiting to be broken.
Oh, very good, detective.
Forgive me, mademoiselle. I only jest.
It's quite alright. You are not the only one that feels a razor tongue. She's grateful you are here, especially now, whether she shows it or not.
I'll have to take your word for that, because it doesn't seem that way to me. I am still yet to see this version of Madame that Mademoiselle Angeline speaks of. But, no, I'm not sure I will get my hopes up for a budding friendship. Speaking with the Comtesse yesterday, she did not have the greatest opinion of the Major.
They have often come to blows when it concerns Maman. They are both trying to protect her, but they themselves cannot seem to get along.
She spoke of his desire to join the, how do you describe it? Social elite.
Harder in a shell. But I think given how Angeline thinks of her, I guess we have confirmation that she does like her daughter.
This isn't the first time she has vocalized that concern. She thinks the Major was just using our family name to make his way to the top.
And you do not agree?
I will not deny he has shown interest in Maman's social circles, but they have been friends since even before I was born. Surely all those years of friendship was not just to raise his social standing.
Mademoiselle Angeline obviously does not believe what the Comtesse has had to say about the Major. Perhaps it is jealousy that drives her scandalous theory. If I may be so bold, did the Major contribute to the house?
How do you mean, detective?
I imagine a house of this size is rather costly, keeping it in the immaculate condition it is in.
Maman looks after the financial side of the house, but I think she has had to ask him more than once for a contribution of sorts. It is not for me to get involved.
I shall not keep you any longer. Merci, mademoiselle.
I mean, the Major should be making a financial contribution if he's living here. I have everything else is needed to push Madame Van den Bosch on her secret. Ooh. So we get to go talk to her again. Okay, we've got 2 connections to make. Should probably relate to new things that Angelina's given us. Previous birthday gift is gonna go up to where's... Oh, the storybook is all the way over there. That's unlikely.
I must take a different approach if I am to uncover the
10th birthday gift. Put that down into
I
there.
must act on
Nope.
thought and...
Madame kept the Major around. The Major hasn't helped the house financially.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
As much as she tries to deny it, Cassandra shared the Major's feelings in some capacity. Yeah, she also cared about him in some way to let him keep living here without contributing. Is it an antique by any chance? You think of this one? Over to appropriate gift.
I must take a different approach if I am to uncover the truth.
Hello, Thomas. How you doing aside from being sleepy?
What a revelation.
There we go. With the Viscount gone, the Major stepped up and acted as the fatherly figure to her. Yeah, we have just have talked to Cassandra. Let's just check that we can't go and investigate in other places. No. We can't go anywhere else up here, so let's go talk back to Cassandra.
Is this really necessary?
Question why Cassandra has housed the Major for so long.
Who I allow in my house is none of your business. I do not have to explain anything to you.
I did not think you were one for charity.
I would not expect you to think much of anything. There is no need to talk on it any further, but I'm sure you will remember that, financially speaking, we have had our issues.
Congrats on being that far up with your guest room, Thomas. I think I'm also rank 11 actually. Maybe 12? I got slowed down by the fact that initially I didn't realize you could do the inviting every 12 hours. I have all the evidence I need to confront Madame Van den Bosch. It is my approach to the questions that I must consider. She will no doubt be defensive when pushed, but that may be the only way she will not give up any information that she does not want to easily. For the crafting battles, I do the hard ones because I know I can beat hard levels. Okay, so we have, right, when pushed. Why is it you protect the name of Monsieur Hagen so resolutely?
He was a man that required no protection, Detective, especially from me.
That is the impression I had of him, which is why your defensive stance warrants questioning.
Your insistent questioning on such trivial matters are getting on my last nerve. There is a murderer and a blackmailer to be found. That is your job here.
His declarations of love meant nothing to you, or judging by the Major's words did not. It was not only one. Okay. I didn't realize that the rewards don't change, so thanks for that information, Thomas. I assumed that the rewards would be better for the higher ones. His declarations of love meant nothing to you then?
Your continued probing into something that does not exist is becoming quite tiresome. There is nothing I can tell you that will magically present what you are looking for, Detective. I have grown weary of this conversation, Poirot. There is nothing more to say.
Your continued reluctance to answer my questions and defensive nature suggests that there was a shared love between you.
Madame, you continue to withhold the truth.
And you continue to get on my last nerve. I am not obliged to tell you every detail of my private life.
But in this case I do believe it's relevant, ma'am.
But when it impedes my investigation.
If only you were this focused on finding the blackmailer and...
Madame.
Very well. I did not lie about how we met. I was attending an event, raising money for... Oh, I cannot recall now. It had been some time since I had returned home, and was rather missing English soil. I was aware of Felix's invitation, or at least that there was to be several British officers attending the party, and that is where our friendship began. He was a warm reminder of home, and I enjoyed conversing with him. We shared walks in the park and read together. As I said, he was a welcome distraction from the days spent alone. I shall go no further with the details, but I will say, I had no intention on being unfaithful to my husband. It was never our plan to go that far. Once I found out I was pregnant, I knew it had to stop.
So the Major was Angeline's father then?
The Viscount never questioned Mademoiselle's birth?
In his mind, he had no reason to, and he shouldn't have had to. It was my mistake to bear. If he knew the truth, our lives would have been ruined.
Yeah, you did call it, didn't you, Thomas? Well done.
I told Felix that he was to stay away, but he had no intention to. He became an uncle figure to Angeline, and they grew closer after Edwin's death. I could not tell her the truth. Too much time had passed. The secret remained only between him and I. Until now.
Yeah, someone else clearly knows and is blackmailing you about it.
And what were the Major's thoughts on revealing the truth?
He wanted to tell her everything. He wanted her to know exactly who he was. But I told him no. It would not have been the poignant reconciliation that he expected. She would not understand.
Tell me about the letters.
I tried to retrieve them from the safe after everyone had retired last night. But when I opened the safe, they were nowhere to be found. I assumed he must have hidden them somewhere else.
When I entered the study this morning, they were as visible as a red notice on a police station wall.
I would appreciate if you did not compare them to the face of a wanted felon.
Pardon, madame.
But that does mean someone else in the house has seen them. I don't understand. Why would they return them?
A mystery that is still yet to be solved.
Madame was beaten to the safe by another. It seems we also have a thief within the walls to add to the list of criminals. But a thief that returns their spoils. Can I assume this was the secret that has been used for ransom?
It must be. But I have told no one.
And the Major?
Felix promised me he wouldn't tell a soul, and I believed him. But even if he wanted to.
If the Major had let slip even once throughout the years, perhaps in an intoxicated state, that it is a secret that many would seek an opportunity to gain from.
You did not think anyone knew, and that is why you disregarded the letter.
If you bow to these criminals, they will only try to claw more from you.
I think that is all for now. Merci, madame.
The uncertain connection between the Major and the ransom has been resolved. The Major was being blackmailed. The letters were not written by his hand. What remains unresolved is why the Major was being blackmailed. 2 cases of extortion under one roof. The question of their relationship must be asked. I mean, it was clearly about the same thing. The Major's secret is anything but obvious from his letter. I now have a blackmailer and a murderer and their weapon to find. This is a bit that we had earlier. If the correct process is followed, they will all be found swiftly. I've seen the Sunset Savannah event things. That Leona looks great. I should take my leave. This room has already revealed enough new insights into Madame's and the Major's lives. I had my suspicions that Madame Van den Bosch and the Major shared a romantic relationship, but I did not expect the revelation of his connection to Mademoiselle Angeline. I am now one of the very few that hold Madame's secret. Okay, what are we doing now? Just leaving this room, I guess. I want the Sum Sum card. I really want the Sum Sum card. It's adorable.
Detective Poirot, how is your investigation coming?
Monsieur Sterling, I must admit, I have learned much more than I was expecting to.
You'll be wrapping the case up soon, then.
One has never finished learning, monsieur, and in this case, I shall need to continue if I am to find the Major's killer.
It might help to vocalize your thinking. I'm all ears.
Archibald is volunteering to be a rubber duck. Monsieur Sterling offers an interesting concept. If I was to state the current position of my investigation while holding back certain truths, the guilty parties may realize I am hot on their heels and reveal their hand.
Monsieur, would you gather the guests and staff in the salon?
Right away, Detective. Can I ask for what reason?
I mean, it's the same concept as with the coding rubber duck, right? Someone to talk at about your thing.
I shall reveal all once everyone is together.
Ooh, Chapter 6. The Search. Some nice piano music.
Detective, what is the meaning of all this?
Madame, I ask that you all lend me your ears for only a few moments. What I have to say is of great significance to everyone. You are all invited here to celebrate the engagement of Mademoiselle Angeline Van den Bosch and Monsieur Gédéon Demire, the coming together of 2 prevalent families. But the celebrations were short-lived, as Major Felix Hagen was found dead in his study by a young servant of the house. It then became my responsibility and obligation as a detective to uncover the truth behind his demise. My initial examination of his study exposed a number of things I did not expect to find. Things I have no desire to divulge at this time, but what I can say is this. It was no simple murder. A letter demanding ransom for a continued silence confirmed this. I am sure some, if not all of you, have heard whispers of a series of blackmails that have plagued the social elite in recent weeks. After hearing of the letters in the Major's study, you may ask if it was him behind the letters, You may further ask if he was preparing his next threat to another unsuspecting victim. It is a question that crossed even my mind. That was until I sought the truth. That in fact it was the Major that had fallen victim to our blackmailer Mystérieux. Last night I spoke with you all, confirmed your whereabouts in the house over the course of the evening, and while I would have expected such questioning to reveal a potential suspect, what I learned was that it could not have been one of you.
What do you mean, not one of us? The man was stabbed. He hardly did that to himself. There is still a killer in the house.
Pardon, monsieur, if you would allow me to finish. It could not have been only one of you. Rather a partnership, in cahoots, if you will. Conversations today have revealed facts that I was not expecting to discover. And although they may have muddied and complicated my investigation, what I must do to bring the guilty parties to justice has become clearer. Those of you that spun stories in an attempt to confuse and derail my investigation have made a grave mistake in underestimating my intelligence. Other detectives may fall for such deception, but I can assure you, Detective Poirot is no such fool. My investigation is far from over, and swift justice shall be dealt to those that have committed such appalling acts and have continued to mislead and lie to protect themselves. Now, I must continue mon enquête, and I shall leave you to consider that you may be beside a cold-hearted killer. Bonsoir. Monsieur Sterling, un moment.
Lay it all out and leave them all in a room together. Yes, asserts dominance, leaves.
Merci, but it was not made to entertain, more to warn the guilty parties that I am hot on their heels, no matter how clever they believe themselves to be.
Well, if there is anything I can do.
I'd like to search the guests' bedrooms.
Is that really necessary?
The murderer remains at large, and there is still no sign of the weapon. I would say that makes them essential.
Of course. I still just cannot imagine any of them being guilty of his murder.
It may be hard to imagine, but it is the truth.
When you returned to the study last night, did you notice anything different from our previous visit?
Nothing. But I was so preoccupied with the Major. Sorry, Detective. Should I have?
Perhaps it was just my mind playing games again.
Maybe one of the guests got lost and wandered in.
The guests aren't even on that floor, Archie. If a guest had taken the wrong turn, finding themselves in the Major's bedroom first, I'm sure they would not have proceeded through the next door, unless they were not lost at all. Who has access to the safe in the Major's study?
Master Hagen had a key, obviously, and Lady Vandenbosch.
Monsieur Demir was quite sure Archibald also had a copy of the key. It is not someone one would easily forget. Regarding access to the safe, have you seen its contents before?
When requested, aye. If something is required from there when Master Hagen is not around.
Forgive me. If he is not around, how is it you access this safe?
It's not what you think, Detective.
What I think is that you have been trusted with a copy of the key, and you have lied to me about it.
I only lied because of the trouble I can get into with Lady Vandenbosch.
Ooh.
At this moment, monsieur, you should be more worried about the trouble you shall find yourself in with the law.
I know how it will sound, but...
Oh no.
My key? I must have set it down somewhere, and it has been tidied away. Master Hagen asked so rarely for me to go in the safe, I didn't think it would be missed.
So somewhere out there is a key to this safe. Monsieur Sterling's story of his lost key strikes me as rather coincidental. The Major's safe is broken into with documents ransacked, and letters involving Madame van den Bosch's secret left out. It is a crime with no apparent purpose. There is a matter regarding the contest that we must discuss.
I should have said this morning. I'm sorry.
Monsieur, I am not quite sure you understand the severity of what has happened.
I am well aware, Detective. I just thought she would be able to help.
Would you allow a man with a smoking gun to remove his bullet from a victim's chest?
I suppose not.
I understand that Monsieur Sterling was only trying to help, but surely he must have seen what it could do for the integrity of my investigation.
I would like to begin my searches now. Since it is closest, I will start with the west wing.
I may not be back when you return. Here is the key to the other rooms. Please return it when you're done.
Merci. I shall guard it with my life.
First, let us pay the Comtesse a visit. Search the guest rooms for evidence of possible collusion. Before I can accuse anyone of any crime, I must be sure they were working alone or with another. It is a perfect opportunity to find evidence of any collusion and look for the murder weapon. I should make myself known before entering.
Entrez.
The Comtesse's room. It would be rude to not address her before searching her room. Oh, but let me look around first. I wish to be rude. The wonders of modern technology. What a joy it must be to have music in one's home. Gramophone and a piano in the same room. That's the same thing we had from the other pianos. I'm gonna look at this. Look at the fireplace for the same line. Grandfather clock, probably the same line as the other grandfather clocks. Yep. Ooh, a package. Perhaps a present for the family as a thank you for their hospitality. You think she might have booby-trapped the package, huh, Thomas? Or that she might just shoot me for going through her stuff. Perhaps the happy couple's engagement has someone in a particularly romantic mood. Okay, that's a line we've had before, but... Alright, now I'll talk to her.
Detective, what a pleasure. I did not expect to see you in my chambers.
In a purely professional capacity, I can assure you.
There is no need to act so stiff, Detective.
Madame, after the revelation of your actions last night, I'm afraid my sense of humor is all but gone.
I will not apologize again for merely trying to help. Shall we get straight to it then? Let us not waste your time any further, Detective.
I saw you conversing with one of the young servants yesterday.
That would be Inge. She has been one of the most promising young women that has come from the shelter.
Madame van den Bosch took in a young lady from your shelter.
There is no need to sound so surprised, Detective. She does have a heart.
Does she?
I did not mean to sound so cruel. I just did not expect Madame to hire someone of that background after the incident with her previous maid, Florette.
People change, Detective. You should not judge someone on their past actions.
Believe me, Countess, I know that only too well.
I commend you on your dedication with the women you help. It is most honorable.
Be careful, Detective. That almost sounded like a compliment.
It is your actions in this house that have been questionable, Madame. Your work outside is something that many more could take note of.
We do what we can.
Have you been able to find many of the girls from the shelter work?
We wouldn't be doing a very good job if I could only help one girl. I in fact found work for one of them as a maid in Monsieur da Silva's house recently.
Ah.
She has fitted into Monsieur's home well.
What is better, detective? That she remained in an abusive house, or she is able to rebuild her life with an honest wage in a prosperous house?
When put like that, is she happy in her position?
The happiest she has been in years. I check in with them all as often as possible. And if there was a problem, I would know.
I am glad to hear that more girls are building a better future for themselves, and it is with help from the contest that it has been able to happen.
Merci, madame.
What are you going to do, judge on actions they haven't done yet? Is there anything else I can look at now that I've talked to her? I don't think so. Doesn't look like it. Oh no, wait, we haven't looked at the plants.
Huh.
Plants lean and rely on each other to survive. Something we as a species could take a lesson from. Nope. I apparently cannot leave. Oh, first aid kit. We hadn't looked at that. A first aid kit full of medical equipment, bandages, plasters, antiseptics, and a pair of scissors. Ah, now you could stab someone with scissors. You could stab someone with scissors.
Go ahead, detective.
Perhaps I was a little rash with my response to you examining the Major's body.
A compliment and now an apology. Well, detective, you certainly have changed your tune.
There was something I was still unsure of. You mentioned that your training was some years ago.
From my days as a nurse, oui.
If that is so, why would you have brought several pieces of equipment usually found in a physician's bag?
One must always be prepared, detective.
Yeah, detective, you don't carry a first aid kit around?
Prepared? At an engagement celebration?
If I had not brought them, I would not have been able to assist you last night. Perhaps you should be thankful for my precaution and not so suspicious.
And had she not brought them at all, I would not have to ask such a question.
Merci, madame.
Alright, now I can leave. Let's just double check if we had... Nope. To next guest room. We're just going to be sent from room to room then. The ever-guarded Jacqueline Conrad. It is time I should question her on her conversation with the Major before searching her room. Gramophone player. Same thing as before. Cupboard, probably with nothing to see. Yep. Oh. Looked at that fireplace before. Ah yes, because we were in here before when we got directed to the wrong place. That looks like something to investigate after I've talked to her. Let's talk to her.
Detective, what can I do for you?
Mademoiselle, I am sure you understand my reasoning for such intrusion.
If it's going to clear my name, be my guest.
Which characters have I been inviting to my guest room? I have been inviting Jack. Dom Jack. That's because Jack is my favourite, so I was like, I'm just going to invite him.
If you wouldn't mind answering some questions, it can hopefully be cleared faster.
I'd like to start with your relationship with the Major.
Like I said, he's not the man he wants everyone to think he is.
Oui. But how is it you came to that conclusion?
You don't really want me to recount every conversation I've had with him, do you?
There is one particular I had in mind.
Tell me about your argument.
An argument would imply it was a two-way conversation.
And that is not how it was?
Here it is. I've been helping Angeline get exposure, her marriage to Gideon is big news, and his work is really paving the way for others. I saw the chance to get their names out there, and he didn't like it.
What was there not to like?
Your guess is as good as mine, Detective. But if I had to, I'd say he was jealous it wasn't his name at the top of the article.
And his reason to storm off?
Oh, you know about that. Let's just say I didn't accept his pathetic attempt to get me to stop the story. If you're gonna try and pay someone off, at least make it worth their while.
Paying you off, huh? I thought the Major would only be supportive of Mademoiselle Angeline. There must be more to why he did not want her success to be known. I'm sure you have grown weary of the subject, but Monsieur Becker's...
You've really got a fascination with that guy, huh?
I would not say fascination. An interest, perhaps.
Well, I'll save you the bother of trying to find out more about him. He's not that interesting. In fact, he's a bit of a wimp if you ask me.
That is not the impression I got of him.
That's because you've only seen the side of him he wants you to. He knows what to say in front of the right people. But behind closed doors, he's clueless.
Clueless in what way?
Let me guess. The first thing he told you was that he was a union leader. No, the voice of the people.
A man that is proud of his work is not something to be sneered at.
Don't get me wrong, he has a way with words, and he can certainly rally a crowd. But that's about it. At the end of the day, he's a representative and nothing more. He's got to play the part, not just learn the lines.
Mademoiselle does not think particularly highly of Monsieur Beckers. She is a strong, independent woman, but to use the term wimp is an unnecessary attack on his character.
Merci, mademoiselle. I shall leave you to relax.
Sure thing, Detective. And if you change your mind on that exclusive about that shooting...
If I do change it, you shall be the first to know.
Okay. Ooh, cotted workstation.
Ah,
Jackie has set up a makeshift office in her room. She must bring her work with her everywhere. Mr. Artigue spotted you leaving the Velvet Tickle Friday at 23:15. Canberra House has been poaching off neighbouring land, boar, deer and duck. Maggie to follow up. Mrs. Bonte found her husband in their marital bed with a young maidservant. Testament from maid needed. Mr. Denault overheard in the cackling crow speaking poorly of King Leopold. He said questionable ideas. We say doubtful, sceptical, shady. Notes from Francis by Monday. Okay, that's not a thing to look at. Okay. Is there anything else in here? Pocket knife. Da-da-da. I presume this belongs to Jackie. Chasing a good story may lead her into some precarious scenarios. Newspaper. Among them, a recent article by Jackie Conrad about the riots linked to Ernesto's factory. Peaceful strikes turn to loss of life as violence breaks out on the front line. Following the tragic events in the city that has darkened the spirits of the people and brought to a screeching halt to the rising defiance of the working class, the area has been cordoned off and police presence at the scene has increased. Factory security forces have been asked to step down and the powers handed over to law enforcement services. Workers laid down their tools, switched off old machinery and stood together shoulder to shoulder as the fight for fair pay and conditions raged on. What started as peaceful protests by those employed at the factories has turned into a battle of class, with support for the workers coming in from all over the city. Although reports have not been confirmed, sources state that violence broke out following a second wave surge of supporters. Official numbers have not been published, but it is believed that as many as 8 workers have lost their lives in the fighting. The Workers' Front Line has been considered as a representation of the people and working class of Belgium that now refuse to work in such demanding conditions for such a demeaning and insufficient wage. Chief Commissioner LaRue has confirmed that the outbreak of violence and resulting civilian deaths are being investigated and an official statement is to be made in the coming days. Jacqueline Conrad. And now we get to talk to her about that.
Go right ahead, Detective.
I was surprised to learn Monsieur da Silva and the Major worked together.
All Felix cared about was money and filling his pockets with it. That's why he got into bed with da Silva.
The Major was not in need of money, though.
Need and want are two very different things. Did he need to move here and leech off the Madame? No, but he wanted to.
Tell me your opinion of their work together.
As far as I know, da Silva hired him to work security. He was worried what could happen to his precious factories if things got ugly.
And your reporters were there to cover the story when it did turn that way.
My reporters go where there is news to be told.
And you predicted the violence that occurred?
Anyone could see that was gonna happen. If you ask me, Hugo should have acted sooner.
Merci, mademoiselle. I shall leave you to relax.
Alright, onwards to the next guest room. Although first I'm going to take a quick break to get some more water and turn the lights on. I'll be back shortly. And I'm back. Yeah, the mystery is indeed deepening. There are a lot of moving parts to this, aren't there? Here we are in Madame Angeline and Gideon's room. I wonder what we shall find. I thought we were just looking at the guest rooms. Gideon's room is pristine.
Ah.
I could have mistaken it for my own. Oh, I like this. Sort of an cross between an armchair and a bed. That would be so much fun to just sit on and read. Someone obviously does give them that book there. It does look comfy. I guess it's a day bed. I think that's the term.
Huh.
Drinks globe. Yeah. I actually once saw like a wicker one of these, but I think it was designed for a garden. And it was sort of enclosed like a nest with like a giant thing to sit, this circular thing to sort of sit on or lie on. And I was like, oh, I want that so much. Not that I had anywhere to put it or the money to buy it, but... It seems they used to be closer. Perhaps their recent behavior was merely a facade. Could it be possible that Gideon collaborated with Zachariah? Ah, yeah. Photo of the brothers. Is there anything else? Maybe not. Oh no, wait, no, there is. Nope, there's nothing in the drawer. Nope, nothing else. Did I click the bed already? Yes, I did. If it's got the little icon with the gears rather than the icon with the eye, then I have already clicked it. With all of the wet guest rooms searched, I should make my way to the guest rooms on the east of the first floor. There must be evidence of collusion somewhere. Alright, back down to the first floor. And then over to the east wing. Oh, Inge. Hello.
Mademoiselle, we meet again.
Bonjour, Monsieur Poirot. Pardon, Détective Poirot.
Just a detective is quite all right.
Bon, can I help you with something?
It was you that alerted the house to the Major's body, was it not?
I was taking him a plate of food, but he didn't answer to my knocking.
You then entered the study.
I did. He wasn't moving. He just lay there.
I did not mean to upset you again. Seeing him there would be troubling for anyone, and I'm sure it is not a memory you wish to relive.
Tell me about your relationship with the other staff.
I suppose we're like a family. We argue, but most of the time we get along.
You must all be quite close, then.
Some more than others.
You refer to whom, mademoiselle?
Well, Maman Rihanna, she's been here the longest, and she's very close with Lizzie on account of Luc.
I was just thinking what this next question is. How is it that Mademoiselle Elizabeth's late fiancé connects them?
Maman is Luc's sister. You didn't know that?
No, I did not know that.
I thought she would have said. She talks about him all the time. It must have been awful, losing him in those riots.
He died in the riots.
Apparently, he was right at the front when they were charged. They didn't stand a chance. If I had been the one responsible for his death, I wouldn't want Maman Ray looking for me.
Mademoiselle Rihanna, Maman Ray, she has expressed her desire for revenge.
So if he died in the riots, which were between the workers and security, which I believe was organised by the Major, I think the cook has obtained a motive. Yeah, the riots the Major was keeping order of, right?
Every time she talks about what happened.
How is it that the knowledge of Luke's death has eluded me for so long? The death of a brother is certainly motive enough. I did not see an aggressive side to Mademoiselle Rihanna when we spoke. I wonder if she would act on such impulses for revenge if the opportunity arose. Does she have the means to do it, though? A knife? That's a point, because she would have been really busy cooking. I'm not sure she had the opportunity. If you do not mind me inquiring, what brought you to the women's shelter?
I guess you wouldn't know anything about life on the streets.
It is not an experience I have had to face personally, but I understand that many are forced into it, and the lifestyle that comes with it.
The lifestyle of a thief, you mean?
Put rather bluntly, oui.
You are the first officer that has not taken one look at me and pulled out their handcuffs.
Mademoiselle, I can see you have turned your life around, and I commend you on your efforts.
Without the Countess, I would probably be rotting in a cell somewhere.
There is an obvious alliance to the Comtesse, and an understandable one at that.
Merci, mademoiselle.
And cover Inge's involvement in recent affairs. Inge may seem nothing more than a young innocent maid, but there is something she is withholding. If I am to solve the cases before me, I must learn what it is. We don't have any connections to make with that, though. Have we gained any to make with the others? No. Alright, guest room time. Zachariah's bedroom is first, it would appear. I wonder if Monsieur Zachariah is as seemingly innocent as his brother. I should speak with him before searching his room. Of course his drinks globe is open. A roaring fire. The wonders of modern technology.
Oh.
Plants relying on each other. All the same things as before. Let's talk.
Monsieur Demir, I hope you are feeling better today.
Nothing a good night's sleep couldn't fix.
Très bien. I wonder if you would be up to discussing certain matters with me.
Whatever you need.
I am sorry if dealing with the Major's body brought up any familiar emotions.
I lost my taste for death a long time, but it had to be done. I'm certainly in no rush to be carrying a dead body again, though.
Most understandable. I shall extend the same gratitude to you as I did to your brother.
You've spoken to him already. How is he?
Perhaps that should be a question you ask him yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
I spoke with your brother about your past.
I bet he had a lot to say. He always did have an opinion on the war.
When I say your past, I refer to your past as brothers.
Okay, well, what did he say?
It seems you both had the same sentiment for this party. Perhaps the bridges that you thought were once burnt are in fact primed to be reconstructed.
We'll see how probable that reconstruction is going to be. Until he sees my point of view, I don't know how we can move forward.
What is there for him to understand before the bond can be repaired?
He lost his friends in the war, the same as everyone. But somehow he has forgiven. I'm sorry, Detective, I can't. And Gideon just doesn't understand that.
After speaking with Monsieur Gideon about his brother's state of mind, I think the best thing for them would be a reconciliation. There is something about Monsieur Zacharias' story that he is leaving out, though. The death of his friends and comrades weighs heavy on him. Your brother was talking with the Comtesse while in the salon. I was not aware they were so close.
Those two, close.
They must share something in common to be able to hold a conversation for the time they did.
If there is one thing I know about my brother, it's that he will not. No. He cannot be rude. He just doesn't have it in him.
Was it not your brother that punched Monsieur Hagen?
Ah, that's different. He was asking for it. If you put my brother in a room with 5 socialites like her, he would work his way around every single one of them, offering his full attention and finest manners.
Merci for your assistance, monsieur.
Alright, now what can I look at? Something over... Here, there we go.
Aha.
The room is littered with mess. Cigarette butts discarded right next to the ashtray. Shouldn't they at least be in the ashtray? Cigarette butts, though. I think we established that the person who did the murdering was a smoker. Ceremonial dagger. An ornamental dagger from Zacharias' time in the war. I mean, you could definitely stab someone with that.
Always got time for my favorite detective.
There is a particular item I found while conducting my search.
The dagger. I wondered how long it would take for that to become an issue.
I shall give you the opportunity to explain the reason for it being here before I jump to any conclusions.
It was going to be a wedding gift for Gideon. I've maybe not been the best brother in recent years. I thought this could make up for some of it. After what happened to the Major, I thought it was a bit tasteless.
Yeah, maybe.
You did not see it fitting to tell me you were harboring a rather sizable knife in your room?
You think he might be drunk already? That's entirely possible. He may have got up and immediately started drinking again. I knew a guy in the first week of uni who was, like, constantly drunk. Someone who would get up and start the day with more alcohol. It's like, how are you alive?
I wouldn't say harboring. And I wasn't expecting to be a suspect in a murder.
Merci for your assistance, monsieur.
Monsieur Becker's room. Without him here, I am free to search it. A book.
Aha.
Inside Hugo's notebook, a hasty scribble regarding a meeting with, who I assume, Ernesto. Curious. This is not a roaring fire, this is a very small fire. It's seems he has been attempting to write a speech of some kind. Unsuccessfully, though. I wonder, does this fit a pattern of behavior with Hugo? You underestimate the power of man's defiance. Your men, you are in a position to bring all of this to an end. All we ask is what we deserve. If you do not retract your men, they will be met with equal force, too forceful. Your weapons may beat our bodies, but they will not bruise our hearts, spirits. These are the men that have built our great nation country and will continue to. Money will not save your soul. Yeah, he's not happy with his writing, is he? Ooh, a photograph on the drinks globe. With so many siblings, it must have been difficult for Hugo to get attention. That's our man Hugo over that side, right? With the cap. But yeah, that's a lot of siblings if that's all siblings. Yep, I think that's everything. The business-minded Monsieur da Silva's room. Anyway, let's talk to Mr. da Silva.
Monsieur da Silva, I am sure you understand the necessity for this type of search.
Not really, Detective. Your speech was rather spirited, but it did not give me much faith in your investigation.
Alright.
I have not had my abilities questioned to my face by one of those I suspect of a crime before.
Well, if you wish to prove me wrong, you should hurry up and find Felix's killer.
And I hope, with your help, monsieur, I shall.
Madame Van den Bosch spoke of your work with her late husband.
Yes, I helped him invest some money. Unfortunately, he was not the businessman he thought he was.
Madame Van den Bosch had a very similar view. At least he could have taken solace that you are both in the same position.
I think you're confused, Detective. It was Edwin that lost his fortune, not I.
Forgive my naivete. If you were helping him make viable investments, would you not have seen the same opportunity for yourself?
I told him about the opportunities. I did not tell him to put his whole family's wealth into it. The prospect of doing good meant more to him than his profit margins. He was bound to fail.
Well, yeah, I mean, you should never put your entire family's wealth into something, right?
The business declared bankruptcy.
It did, until it was purchased for a fraction of its worth and made the new owner a small fortune.
Suspicious. I am beginning to see Monsieur da Silva's more ruthless side. It sounds as though the Viscount was trying to at least make a positive change, but perhaps he was missing Monsieur da Silva's cutthroat edge. Yes, only the money you can afford to miss, exactly.
Everything that I want to say on that matter has already been said.
I understand, monsieur. But what I would like to know is, was the late Viscount aware of your feelings towards his wife?
Excuse me, Detective, but you have crossed the line.
Cross the line like an attempt to bankrupt a business partner and friend so that you'll be able to swoop in and impress a certain target of your affections.
Ooh.
You make such ridiculous accusations without a shred of proof.
Your reaction at the mere suggestion is proof enough, monsieur. While I cannot arrest you for betrayal of a friend, I can hope your conscience does not forget, and that will be punishment enough.
Monsieur da Silva's actions are not a criminal offense. But if there was a penalty for deception and deceit, he would surely receive a life sentence. If he has gone to such lengths before, what would stop him from committing a similar act again, this time to the Major? I know you have worked with the Major, but what do you know of his finances?
He didn't have much to speak of. I was always surprised at the life he lived.
Surprised in what way?
Well, considering it wasn't that long ago he came to me asking about work, I didn't think he was in such good financial shape.
You offered him a position?
Nothing that he was willing to lower himself to. That's when he began talking about what else he could do for me.
The Major worked security for your factories.
If you can call what him and his team did security. For the money I paid, I did not expect them to be so reckless.
Oh?
It was a considerable amount you paid him?
There's no need to divulge amounts, but it was certainly more than was expected.
One would expect a business of Monsieur da Silva's caliber to have agreed a price for the Major's services. Why would he allow the Major to barter more? Tell me about the Major's security team.
He said they were all professionals, but I saw nothing of the sort. He said he had worked with them all in the army as their superior officer. They were men that could be trusted.
I think there's a difference between professional soldiers and professional security people.
But that was not the case?
I had not even met them before they arrived on site. They brought their own equipment. They looked like they knew what they were doing.
And this equipment, it included the weapons that injured and killed the workers?
It was not much of a choice, Detective. I said they didn't need them, but Felix said it was essential. He said he knew better.
The more Monsieur talks, the shadier his dealings with the Major become. It's beginning to sound as though the riots were no accident.
That is all for now.
Suspicious. Ooh, a letter opener. You could stab someone with that. A razor-sharp letter opener, almost brand new, lies discarded on the floor. Why is it on the floor? Ada Silva, clear up after yourself. A contract for a partnership between Ernesto and Hugo. It's missing Hugo's signature. 12.1. This agreement is governed by the laws of the Kingdom of Belgium. Both parties agree to the following. 1. Current workers' strike shall cease in all manners and forms. 2. Factory floor machine operators and supervisors shall return to their positions immediately. 3. Terms of the above contract shall be implemented and relevant action taken directly. Signed, M. Ernesto da Silva, factory owner and employer Ernesto da Silva. M. Hugo Beckers, union leader. Another letter. A letter stating the blackmailer would reveal information of his questionable business dealings. Another blackmail letter. Monsieur da Silva, at first you may question the nature of this letter, but by its conclusion you will know that what you have fought so hard to keep hidden could be far from it. You have spent years feeding off the hard-working backs of others and offering nothing in return. Your workers continue to take their lives into their own hands day after day with your shoddy, damaged and dangerous machines for a fraction of what they deserve. deal after deal has been made, and while your pockets become fatter, lining them with more of your blood money, it is your workers that must pay the price. The mistreatment and pain you have caused does not only reside in the factories you own, but the house that you live in. You do not value the lives of those that allow you to live the opulent life that you do, and I will not allow that to continue. I can no longer sit back and watch as you disregard any sense of integrity or morality and continue to remain on your self-made pedestal, lording over those that deserve so much more. It is time that you paid the price for your crimes, and the cost is 5,000 francs. Again. It is a small price to pay for my silence, for if I do not receive it before Friday, it will not be cash you are paying, but rather years behind bars. Bring the money in a small brown paper parcel addressed to Monsieur Cordier to the post office on Rue des Entrepôts. Entrepôt, probably. I don't know. Give it to the cashier and leave. If you do as requested, you will not hear from me again, and you may continue your life of luxury. It is obvious you do not value others' lives, but I urge you to reconsider what yours is worth. I'm sort of getting the feeling that maybe the blackmail letters are related to the women's shelter? Because so far we've seen them with two people in whose houses is someone who was recruited from there. Like, I still think they're kind of related to the maid from the first case. So, like, maybe she ended up there and she's sort of working with the others. I don't know. We have some things to more things to talk about, though.
What is it now, detective?
I mean, I'm not sure whether the blackmailer and the murderer are actually connected. I don't want to do that, but just, yeah, first. Were you expecting some correspondence this weekend?
Excuse me? Detective, I think you are beginning to lose your mind.
I do not think it is unreasonable to question why you would feel the need to bring a letter opener with you.
Really, detective? If I had stabbed a man with it, do you really think I would have left it lying out in my room?
I mean, good question. If the person doing the stabbing had thought about it, they probably would have thrown the weapon out into the snow where it would have been buried. Monsieur da Silva is correct. It was a stretch to believe someone would be so careless. The murder weapon remains somewhere in the house, though. Monsieur Demire invited Monsieur Becker so that you two might sit down and find some common ground.
Yes, and no one asked him to.
But surely it is beneficial to both parties. Your profits must have been affected.
There are barely any profits to speak of.
Why have those talks not taken place and a deal arranged?
Monsieur Beckers has made no attempt to speak with me and offered no counter-offer. The ball is in his court, detective.
Although it is Monsieur da Silva's wages and treatment of his staff that is in question, it sounds as though he was at least trying to resolve the issue. Surprising, unlike Monsieur Beckers. Right, push on Y and Ernesto had the letter.
I have spoken of a potential blackmail ring, and yet you still kept your letter to yourself.
It is none of your business. And it is nothing more than a cheap trick to have me admit something that is not true.
It's entirely my business. I'm trying to solve the blackmailing thing, that's why I'm here, sir.
If that were the case, it would be strange for you to have kept the letter and brought it with you, would it not?
Your persistence is a trait I do not enjoy.
Monsieur da Silva has remained blunt, if not curt, with his responses to my questions. Perhaps it would be best to act in a courteous and empathetic manner, so he may be more forthcoming with the truth of his blackmail letter and its contents. So let's go with, there must be a reason you thought justified hiding it.
No reason, detective. Merely saving you from wasting your time.
I will be the judge of that. I would like to know about any and all evidence that may help my investigation. I trust there is nothing else you deem a waste of my time.
Of course not, officer. It's not as though you think I'm harboring some illicit secret. The letter was a pathetic attempt to intimidate me. Nothing more.
You do not value the lives of those that allow you to live the opulent life that you do.
I have never heard so much rubbish in all my life. I value those that work hard and deserve it.
That suggests there are some that you do not respect.
Yes, well, why should I praise someone for doing a poor job? You make me sound like some monster.
Monsieur, the letter does not only discuss your questionable business dealings, but also cases of abuse against your staff. Both accusations that must be taken very seriously.
Detective, there is a difference between telling a member of my staff what to do and abuse.
And it is you that decides where that line is drawn?
In my house? Yes, it is.
Monsieur does not like being pressed on the subject of how he treats his staff. If he had nothing to hide, there should be no need for such a reaction. Do you have any ideas as to which staff member may have expressed their abuse?
Please stop calling it that. I treat all my servants exactly how I always have, and no one has complained before.
That doesn't mean you're treating them well!
That does not mean your behavior is appropriate.
Exactly what Poirot said.
They have one chance. If they are not doing the job they are hired to do, they are gone. You would be surprised how many staff expect an easy ride.
I did not expect Monsieur to treat his staff the same as his friends, but I also did not expect him to treat them like stray dogs.
Is there a specific member of staff that may have expected such a ride?
Yeah, they could not report it as a sheer fear, right? Like Floette never complained about her abuse because she needed the money.
There is one girl, a new maid. I didn't expect great things from her, but Comtesse de Vos promised me she could do what was required.
This must be the young girl that the Comtesse spoke of. Perhaps the positions she is finding for these girls are not the best fit.
That is all for now.
And next. No, there is something I'm missing. Is it a link that I need to make? Oh, there's some links I need to make. Let's do the one on the blackmail one. What did we gain anew? This. Ernesto mistreated his employees. Ernesto employed a servant from the women's shelter. Don't think we can connect that all the way up to there. How did... Inga got the job from Margot. Oh, connect that to that.
Magnifique.
Margot is making her shelter girls do her dirty work, finding dirt on members of the social elite. So I think we're going with the Comtesse is doing the blackmailing, but it is related to the girls. Okay, 2 connections to make on the terms of collusion. Partially signed contract. Scrapped paper. Jackie doesn't really... Let's connect that to there.
I should not
Yeah.
be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
In Jackie's opinion, she doesn't value Hugo particularly highly. Would he collaborate with anyone else, I wonder? Jackie unlikely to collaborate with Hugo. Should I be connecting this to
Order
there?
and method.
No.
That is the way. Should we compare the fact that one brother is really messy and one is not? I cannot see
No.
the logic in this. Pa-
Go help Ernesto find a maid.
This will
Connect
not get me
those?
any closer
No.
to my goal.
Okay, Zachariah. Okay. It's these two.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
The Demir brothers' estranged relationship is enough to suggest they would not have worked together. Okay, I still have one link, so I think I need to connect Demir brothers unlikely to collaborate with something. Either with Zacharias and his hesitant. There's not a lot of things I could connect this to, so.
Is there something? I must act on thought and fact.
Pretty sure it should be this to something.
Come, my little grey cells. We must think logically.
Nope, apparently not. Oh, it's this one. Going down to there.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
Hugo and Ernesto confirmed each other's alibis. It's possible that they may have colluded to murder the Major. Can I find anything to support this? Hugo may collude with Ernesto. Okay, I've still got one, so I assume I'm connecting this then to maybe over here, which suggests they haven't actually talked.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
I am doubtful this duo would collaborate. Would Ernesto deal with another member of the house? Perhaps someone who never confirmed his alibi. Okay, so now I need to connect this to something else. Oh, up to Margot?
I must take a different approach if I am to uncover the truth.
Or just up to here.
Another success.
There we go.
I never doubted myself.
Ernesto doesn't strike me as the sort of man that would ask for help, no matter how important. Ernesto may have asked Margot for help. Okay. And there we go with the thing that we need to do before we leave here, which is talk to Ernesto again.
What is it now, detective?
Did you speak with the Comtesse directly about hiring a servant from the shelter?
She approached me. I thought it was rather brash.
In what way?
Assuming that I would want to take on another servant, and one from such a troubled background. She is running the charity, not I.
Monsieur, there is something you are keeping from me. Your business relationship with the Major was obviously towing the line of legality.
When he came to me, I told him that with the factories on strike and my profits pouring down the drain, I had nothing for him. But he said he could help me get them all back to work and the factories earning.
By force, huh?
His rates were steep, but he said he knew what needed to be done, and he was prepared to do it. A week passed and they were all still on strike. In fact, even more had joined them. He made excuse after excuse, demanding more and more money for the job to be done. But he never actually told me what he was going to do.
And you hired him and gave him money even though he didn't tell you how he was going to do it? That's suspicious.
The riots.
I had no idea they were going to charge them like that. How was I meant to know?
Ask the man!
And even following such a tragedy, he continued to demand money from you.
I wouldn't have given him any more. I would have said, yeah, clearly the way you're doing it isn't helping.
He said if he wanted my silence, it would cost. Do you have any idea what it could do to my livelihood, my name? If it got out that I had paid the so-called security that did that.
I have every idea, monsieur. You hired a militia to take action against your own workers. You deserve whatever name is chosen for being so morally bereft in your decision-making.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was what he was going to do. You must believe me.
I have to believe nothing but the truth. And the truth, monsieur, is that it is not only the Major that has the blood of those men on his hands.
Cares more for his reputation than his workers, right?
That is all for now.
Now it is time to leave. Do I have anything else to... Yes. Margot approached Ernesto to offer help. What if we connect that across to there? About Margot being
clearer.
Helpful. Margot may know more than she is letting on, if she has an inside link with the staff of the house. Talk to Inga. Okay. I have found no clear evidence of the guests working together in any capacity. What has become clear is the Countess's connection to the staff. Could there be something more to their relationship? Alright, Inga.
Is there something you need, detective?
Tell me about your true relationship with the Countess.
She helped me at the shelter, and with this job.
That I am already aware of. What I am not is what else she tasked you with.
Pardon, detective?
I know that your position as a servant in this house is not your only job. What did Countess de Vos ask you to do while in this house?
She said I had to do what she asked, or I would be back on the street. I didn't want to do it. If anyone found out, I would be the prime suspect.
Madame Van den Bosch would have been aware of young Inga's past, and she is worried they would accuse her. What was asked of her that must be related to her past life as a thief?
Merci, mademoiselle.
The taking of the key?
there
Nope.
something I am not seeing?
Or just up to safe access in general?
This will not get me any closer to my goal. Order and method. That is the way to solve the problem.
Oh, down to there.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
Inga has admitted that her work in the house is not wholly honest. I need to talk to her again. About thefts. Oh wait, there's still a link to be made. Over to the key. There we go. I thought it was irresponsible of Archibald to lose his key, but now his disappearance makes sense. Inga stole it.
Is there something you need, Detective?
What was it that the Countess asked you to steal from the house?
Nothing. She said I was to take nothing.
If it was not something she wished you to take, what was it?
Something that she wished to be placed.
She wanted me to find out information about the family and Monsieur Hagen.
Why did she request that?
At first I didn't know, but when I heard about Mademoiselle Angeline being blackmailed, and then the Major, I knew she had used what I found.
Ooh. Perhaps my suspicions of Monsieur Sterling's involvement with the Major's safe were incorrect and his key was not lost but stolen. Tell me how you accessed the safe.
I knew Monsieur Archie had a key, and it would be easy to get it from him.
You knew that the Major asked Monsieur Sterling to access the safe from time to time, and if anything was ever discovered missing, he would surely take the blame.
I never took anything. I only told the Countess what I had found.
And that was?
About Monsieur Hagen and the Madame's relationship, and Angeline.
I'm sure the Countess was pleased to hear such valuable information.
She said I had done a good job, but I needed proof. That's why I went back and got the letters last night.
Yeah. So it was young Inga that beat Madame Van den Bosch to the safe last night. But why would they be left in such precarious fashion? When I returned to the study this morning, the letters remained out and the safe open.
I fetched the letters again and took them to the Countess last night. But she shouted at me and said what a stupid girl I was.
You were only doing as she requested.
She said it was too dangerous for her to have them with you around. That's when I returned them to the study.
The Countess is intelligent enough to know that she shouldn't be keeping those sorts of things with a detective around her.
I thought I heard someone on the stairs, so I just threw them back. It was dark, as I dared not turn the light on. Someone would have seen it.
Trying to slot a key in the lock in the dark is no easy feat. That would explain the scratches on the safe. If Madame Van den Bosch had only tried to retrieve the letter minutes earlier, she would have surely crossed paths with Inga.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Right. So she knows of the hidden room. I didn't hear the hidden room mentioned yet.
I cannot see the logic in this. I must act on thought and fact, not on impulse. Come, my little grey cells. We must...
From her stealing the key to accessing the safe.
The
Ah,
pieces of
that
the
should have been more.
puzzle finally
That should
come
have been more
together.
obvious to me. I wonder how many secrets the house holds for Inge to find. She's trying to uncover secrets she knows about the hidden room.
I should
Yes.
not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
If there is somewhere in this house where a secret lies, it will surely be found in the hidden room. My suspicions of the Countess's connection with Inge was correct. She was using the young girl to find out anything and everything she could about the family, while the Countess did not even get her hands dirty. Talk to Inge again.
Is there something you need, Detective?
What else have you relayed to the Countess?
That's all, I swear. I heard Monsieur Archie and Monsieur Felix talking about a storeroom, but I haven't found it.
Is the Countess aware of this room?
So she hasn't found the room, huh?
I told her it was somewhere in the house, but I didn't know where. She wasn't happy with me that I hadn't found it yet.
You know, up in that storeroom that wasn't hidden? How there was that case with a bunch of shelves, and I was like, why aren't all the books that are stored in this room on those shelves? Maybe the hidden room is behind there, and they don't fill up the shelves on that thing so that it doesn't become too heavy to easily move. I believe if young Inga knew the location of the secret store, she would have been forthcoming with it. It's maybe naive on my part, but she has already incriminated herself and has nothing else to lose.
Merci, mademoiselle. Your honesty today has helped me greatly.
I suppose that I will lose my position at the house now.
That is not my decision to make. But when the whole truth is revealed, it will not be the pawns the law looks to convict. We shall be coming for the Queen.
Margot has links to several staff members. Van den Bosch secrets might be in a hidden room. Okay, it's probably to deal with these. This over to there.
Order and method. That is the way to solve the problem. Is there something? I must take a different approach if I am to
Oh, it's just between these.
What a revelation!
Such a calculating web of lies and secrets. What motive could possibly justify such devious actions? Finally, I have unmasked the blackmailer. Madame Angeline and the other recipients of such letters may no longer live in fear. Comtesse de Vos shall pay for her crimes. We found the blackmailer. Blackmailer located.
Mademoiselle, merci for coming.
Have you had a breakthrough, Detective?
I have. Finally, I have the news you have awaited.
Please, Detective, don't hold me in suspense.
I have finally uncovered the identity of the one holding the Van den Bosch name to ransom.
Oh my, I feel faint at the thought of knowing who could have done this to us.
It is said to keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. It is Countess de Vos that is behind the letters.
I don't believe it. What about the Major's letter?
Not only his, but a letter to Monsieur da Silva.
She was blackmailing him as well? Detective, I just don't know what to say.
Take a moment, mademoiselle. It is a lot of information to take in.
I just don't understand why she would do such a cruel thing.
What do you know of young Inga's past?
She has never been particularly forthcoming with it. Only that she was homeless for some time, and that she was at the women's shelter before here.
And it is there that the Countess abused her power and manipulated her to uncover secrets of the family.
All this time she has been working for Margot, doing her dirty work?
I am afraid so, mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle is in a state of shock to learn that such a close friend of the family has betrayed them in such a cruel way. It must be devastating.
Is Maman aware?
You are the first I have told, mademoiselle. Next will be the authorities.
I'm afraid that we'll have to wait.
S'il te plaît, mademoiselle. We must go through the correct channels.
And we will. I want to see her punished to the fullest extent of the law. But we cannot telephone anyone, as the lines are still down.
Monsieur Archibald informed me earlier. I had hoped they would be working again. Last night's snow must have caused more damage than expected.
Last night? They have been done all weekend, Detective. Detective? Are you okay?
They can't have been down all weekend because we heard Archibald answering a phone call. How could I have been such a fool? I saw Monsieur Sterling talk on the telephone, but I heard no ring. He lied!
Detective Poirot?
It was all a lie. I scene acted out for my benefit to throw me off the scent. If I believed that the Major was still alive at that time, I had no reason to investigate anyone's whereabouts beforehand. Anyone, being Monsieur Sterling and his staff. Well, we've established, Thomas, that the butler has the butler made us think that the Major was still alive when he may not have been. Probably wasn't, actually. So even if the butler didn't do it, he's covering up for whoever did.
Would you like me to fetch you a glass of water, Detective?
My apologies, mademoiselle. I was taken by surprise for a moment, but I have regained my composure. A glass of water is not required. Would you excuse me? Merci, mademoiselle.
Chapter 7. The Family. My patience has grown thin. The guests and the staff of this house think it is acceptable to lie to my face when questioned and obstruct my investigation. But no more. We shall see how Monsieur Sterling and his staff fare under some pressure. Dig deeper into Archibald and Rihanna's suspicious actions. I have been lied to for the last time. My suspicions initially led me to the guests, but now they are firmly placed on the staff. Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Rihanna cannot hide behind their lies any longer. And also, I think I'm going to call it there for the stream, because I did double check how many chapters there are in this, and we've got through a little over 2 today, and there's 2 left, so I don't think we'll be finishing it today, but I think we've got a reasonable amount for the next stream. So the next stream should be the finale. Alright. In that case, thank you very much for coming. It's been fun. If you're new here and you've enjoyed your time, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter, which is linked below. The streaming schedule gets posted in both of those places, here on YouTube and over on Twitter. And the new schedule will be up tonight or tomorrow, because this is the last scheduled stream of the week. And yes, the next stream should be tomorrow. And I think that's going to be finishing up Voice of Cards Beasts of Burden, since I think we're close to the finale of that. So, hope to see you then, or another time. Once again, thanks for coming. And this is Kalla signing out. See ya. Bye bye.